Hello everyone, I'm Geek Freak and welcome to the video. Today I want to talk about Death Battles, Naruto vs Ichigo. And yes, I know that video's old, but you know what? Screw it, I don't care how old it is. And I need to say what I need to say about this video. Now to those of you who don't remember, I made a few videos on how they screwed over Ichigo. Death Battle doesn't have a clue how Ichigo's powers work, they don't know what his forms are and how they work, or their order, or how powerful they are. They knew nothing about Ichigo. And you know what? I demand a rematch. It was more of a popularity vote than an actual fight. Ichigo is much more faster, stronger, and more powerful. And again, I demand a rematch. But in order to get that rematch, we need to sort out a few things first. And the first thing we need to sort out is Ichigo and Naruto's forms. Now, as we all know, both series, Bleach and Naruto, add a time skip. Naruto add part 1 and part 2, and Bleach add a pre-time skip and a post-time skip. So I was thinking, what if, now hear me on this, what if we put part 1 Naruto and pre-time skip Ichigo against each other, and part 2 Naruto and maybe New Era versus post-time skip Ichigo? Actually, that's the point. Why hasn't anybody put every single form that Ichigo has up against every single form that Naruto has? Seriously, why hasn't anybody done that yet? Anyways, even if we was to do this, pin Naruto against Ichigo, pre-time skip, post-time skip, part 1 and 2, Death Battle got it completely wrong on how Ichigo's forms work. Hell, they thought that Ichigo's ultimate form was the post-Dongai final Getsuga Tensho, which is completely wrong. That was pre-time skip, and we don't know if Ichigo can do that form again, or maybe he refuses to use it again. I'm going to assume that he knows it, but he refuses to use it again. Again, it's been a very, very long time, and I have absolutely no idea if he can do it or not. But he did do it in pre-time skip. That I can understand. This is pre-time skip Ichigo's most powerful form. I have no problem if pre-time skip Ichigo uses this. That's no problem. But the problem is, this isn't Ichigo's most powerful form. His most powerful and ultimate form is in the post-time skip. And that form is the merged hollow form, Bankai Ichigo. Okay. Let me start from the beginning. First, in pre-time skip, we have Pasido, if I'm pronouncing that right, Zanpakuto Ichigo, and his sealed sword. Now, even though Ichigo has his sword sealed, he managed to do some damage on Renji when Renji had his Shikai form out. Now, even though Renji had his power suppressed when he was in the human world, Ichigo did win against Renji the first time they met when Ichigo's sword was sealed and Renji had his Shikai form out. In Ichigo's Shikai form, Ichigo managed to take down loads of Soul Reapers, including Ikaku, which not only could use a Shikai, but he could almost use a Bankai too. I mean, yeah, sure, he didn't use it against Ichigo, but Ikaku is at captain level. Ichigo also fought against Renji, which was almost at captain level, and he fought against Kenpachi, one of the most powerful and dangerous Soul Reapers. And he's a captain, and he was giving Ichigo a hard time, and his Zanpakuto was in his sealed form, no Shikai or Bankai, but saying that, Kenpachi was an absolute beast. And then after his training, and still in his Shikai form, Ichigo took on 3 captains after when he saved Rukia, and he took all 3 of them down without even using his Zanpakuto. And they used their Shikais, and he bet them without even using his sword in his Shikai form. And when Ichigo unleashed his Bankai, he just managed to beat Byakuya, with a little bit of help from White, of course. I said only a little bit. So yeah, Hollow Mask Ichigo is more powerful, but that's only when Ichigo falls unconscious or is about to die. It's kind of like what the Nine-Tailed Fox does if Naruto is about to die or he's unconscious. Now, all of these forms that I've just mentioned, these forms happened in the beginning of the series to the end of the Soul Society arc. We've never seen Ichigo use his sealed sword ever again, and Ichigo has been using his Shikai form ever since. So Ichigo using his sealed sword wouldn't make any sense if it came to a rematch with Naruto. So in the pre-time skip, it only makes sense for Ichigo to use his Shikai sword, since we've never seen his sealed sword ever again. Which, if you ask me, is kind of a shame because I really did like the sealed sword. I really wish he would have went back to that, but hey, what can you do? Now the next forms I want to talk about is Ichigo's inner hollow forms. These forms is when Ichigo's unconscious or he's about to die, and Ichigo's inner hollow takes over, and Ichigo's inner hollow is extremely powerful. Now even though Ichigo can use his mask for a short period of time, without his inner hollow disturbing him. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So I'm just going to go through this quickly. Ichigo can use his Shikai, Bonkai, and he can use his Hollow Mask, which gives him even more power. But again, if Ichigo loses consciousness, his inner hollow will take over. And if Ichigo is literally almost about to die, Ichigo goes full hollow. And this is very, very similar to what the Nine-Tailed Fox does when Naruto is unconscious or is about to die. I mean, seriously, how cool would it be if the Nine-Tailed Fox and Ichigo's inner hollow white was facing off against each other? I mean, how cool would that be? It's exactly like what happened when Naruto's Nine-Tails chakra turned him into the Six-Tailed QB or Nine-Tails. Naruto got a huge boost from that. I would love to see inner hollow Ichigo and the Nine-Tailed Fox face off. That would be so freaking cool. You see, Ichigo and Naruto both have a beast in them, and those beasts want to destroy everything around them. See, they're very similar. I would have loved to have seen full hollow Ichigo versus the Nine-Tails. That would be sweet. That was one of the things that was missing from the other fight. Both their inner demons fighting it out. That would have been sweet. And now, let's get to Ichigo's peak Bonkai. This Ichigo was so damn powerful that he didn't have any trouble with Aizen in his final form. Aizen said in his final form that he couldn't feel Ichigo's power. And Ichigo wasn't even struggling against Aizen. This was Ichigo at his absolute peak. Now, when it comes to Ichigo's final Getsuga Tensho, this ability or technique was so damn powerful that Ichigo only had one shot with it, and then after that, all of his Soul Reaper powers would have been gone. Now, I'll go into more with the final Getsuga Tensho form later. There's something I want to bring up. If pre-time skip Ichigo was going to fight Naruto, then this is how I would think it would go. We would have to do it in a few parts. The first forms would be Sealed Sword Ichigo, then Shikai form Ichigo, Bonkai Ichigo, and then Inner Hollow Mask Ichigo, where he's out of control. That would be the Soul Society Ichigo. And if you ask me, I think this Ichigo, from his Sealed Sword all the way to his Inner Hollow out of control form, I think these forms would be perfect against Part 1 Naruto, but only if it's Soul Society Ichigo. Now, when it comes to Inner Hollow Ichigo, we have the out of control Mask Ichigo and Full Hollow Ichigo. These two forms would be freaking perfect to use against the Nine-Tailed Fox. Again, I would love to see these two beasts duke it out. Now, ever since the Soul Society arc, Ichigo has got much more stronger in his base form, and not only that, he can also now control his inner hollow to a certain degree when he puts on his mask. So now, Ichigo has his Shikai, Bonkai, and now he has extra power by using his mask. So yeah, that's sweet. And then when Ichigo was training for 3 months in the Dongai, Ichigo was fighting Aizen so goddamn casually. Ichigo basically surpassed Aizen in his Bonkai form after 3 months of training. That is insane. So here's the thing. This is peak Bonkai Ichigo. Now I don't know if Ichigo can use his mask at this point, but let's just say for example, Ichigo used his Shikai at this point in his final confrontation against Aizen, and then he went Bonkai. That would make a lot more sense. So at this point, if Ichigo was to face off against Naruto, Ichigo would have to use his Shikai and then his Bonkai, and if he's desperate, he would use his final Getsuga Tensho. Or is this form called the Mugetsu? I forget, I just call it the final Getsuga Tensho form. So yeah, pre-crisis Ichigo would have to use his Shikai and then his Bonkai at this point when he's facing off against Aizen. So yeah, after Ichigo finishes his fight against Part 1 Naruto, which is from the original series, this Ichigo could take on Naruto from Naruto Shippuden. And then when Ichigo has no choice but to use his final Getsuga Tensho, and Naruto somehow blocks it, or survives against it, pre-time skip Ichigo would be replaced by post-time skip true Zanpakuto Ichigo. Now the reason why I'm skipping full bring Ichigo and skipping right to this form is because it has been stated by Uwatch. When Ichigo confronted Uwatch again, Uwatch said Ichigo has regained the power that he used in order to defeat Aizen. So Ichigo in his Shikai form has the power of the final Getsuga Tensho, or the form of the final Getsuga Tensho in his Shikai form. I think it was called the Mugetsu, I think it was. For me, I just called the final Getsuga Tensho form. And not only that, Ichigo can put his Bonkai on top of that, which gives him a 10 times multiplier, which gives Ichigo 10 final Getsuga Tenshos in his true Bonkai form. But wait, there's still more. Ichigo is able to use his Hollow form in this, but it's not just that. It's called his Merged Hollow form, and it is a combination between a Hollow, a Quincy, and a Shinigami. Ichigo has the powers of a Quincy, a Hollow, and a Shinigami, all mixed into one. Now the thing is, I have no idea what the multiplier is for the merged hollow form in his Shiko form, but Ichigo in his Shiko form, while in his merged hollow form, is pretty damn powerful. Again, I don't know what the multiplier for it is, but I'm pretty sure it's much more powerful than his regular true Zanpakuto Bankai. Now, we get to Ichigo's final and most powerful form, his merged hollow form with a Bankai. Remember, the Bankai can give you a 10 times multiplier. And don't forget, Ichigo at his merged hollow form with his Shikai, and that in itself is pretty damn powerful. And not only that, Ichigo is not only in his merged hollow form, but he also has his Bankai, which gives him a 10 times multiplier. I mean, seriously, this is incredibly powerful. If you thought that a regular Bankai was powerful enough, Ichigo's merged hollow form made it even more powerful. This form is the most powerful form that Ichigo has ever shown us. This is his final form, and that is something that Death Battle didn't understand. This is Ichigo's peak of power, even more powerful than the final Getsuga Tensho, especially when it's a combination between a Bankai and the merged hollow form, with Quincy powers of course. Again, this is Ichigo at his absolute peak of power. There is no way in hell can Naruto beat Ichigo at this point. Now, this is what I would do for a pair up. Ichigo from the Soul Society arc in his Shikai form up against, near the end of part 1, Naruto. And this Naruto knows the Rasengan, multi-shadow clone jutsu, and other techniques. Naruto also has a form called Kurama Influence, which is kind of a power-up or a transformation. And Naruto also has the One Tail Cloak. This, in my opinion, would be a good matchup for Ichigo from the Soul Society arc. This is the Ichigo that fought against Byakuya when he rescued Rukia. This is an Ichigo that surpassed, in his Shikai form, Renji, Kenpachi, 3 vice captains, Ikkaku, which was almost a captain level, and Ichigo could also see Byakuya's moves. In his Shikai form, near the end of the Soul Society arc Ichigo is the cooler Ichigo everybody knows and loves. So I think starting from end of Soul Society arc Ichigo, in his Shikai form, to his Bankai, which gives him a 10 times multiplier, and if Ichigo was to fall unconscious or was about to die, Ichigo's inner Olo would take over, just like what Naruto's Nine-Tailed Fox would do. If he fell unconscious or he was about to die, the Nine-Tailed Fox would basically take over. However, I do believe that Ichigo in his Shikai form alone can beat end of part 1 Naruto. He doesn't need to use his Bankai against Ichigo. So in my opinion, Ichigo would definitely have the win here in his Shikai form alone. Now, when it comes to Naruto in part 2, when he comes back to the village, all the way when he was trying to learn Sage Mode, Naruto has gained a few abilities. As a new Sage Mode, he can summon frogs, and just like Ichigo, if Naruto is thrown into a fit of rage, or is about to die, or falls unconscious, the Nine-Tailed Fox would take over and fight for him. So I think the end of the Pain arc is the perfect place to put Naruto against Ichigo from the Soul Society arc. Now, who do I think is going to win between these two groups? Soul Society arc Ichigo or end of Pain arc Naruto? Well, in my opinion, I think Ichigo in his Bankai can take on Naruto's base form, his 3-tailed cloak, and Naruto's 4-tailed cloak. And I do believe Ichigo could also take out Sage Mode Naruto. But I do believe Ichigo would have a lot of trouble with the 9-tails 6-tailed cloak. Now, here's the thing. I could be wrong about this, but I put Naruto's forms as he gets stronger as base, then 3, 4, and then his Sage Mode, and then his 6 cloaked 9 tails. Now, I could be wrong about this on where the Sage Mode should go in this part of the story where he's facing off against Pain, but hey, these are the forms that he's able to do so far in the story, so yeah. But I do think that the 6-tailed cloak Naruto is most likely the most strongest one there. At least I think so anyways. I think maybe Naruto in his 6th cloak might be stronger than inner Olo Ichigo. Now, I'm trying to be fair here. Base form Naruto isn't the same like he was in part 1. In part 2, Naruto has gotten much stronger in his base form. Ichigo has also gotten much more stronger than he was at the beginning of the series. Olo Ichigo was able to damage Byakuya Kuchiki, which his Bankai form was having trouble, but just for the hell of it, I'm going to give this victory to 6-tailed cloak Naruto. Now, let's talk about Ichigo when he was on a rescue mission to go and save Orihime, and after he beat Ukiura. Ichigo's Shikai form is much more powerful than it was in the Soul Society arc. I don't really know how powerful his Shikai form has gotten, but I do know that it's gotten much more powerful than it was in the Soul Society, thanks to all the training the Vizards gave Ichigo, and there was all the fighting with Grimmjow, Ukiura, and loads of other Olos and Oronkars. But most of the time, Ichigo has been mostly fighting in his Bonkai, but nonetheless, Ichigo's Shikai is much stronger than it was in the Soul Society. And to be fair, I'm going to need a power scaler for this, because even I don't know how powerful Ichigo's gotten in his Shikai form. And again, I do know that he has gotten stronger in his Shikai form, and I mean much stronger. So if Ichigo was to use his Bonkai, he might just hang in there against the Six-Tailed Cloak. Just barely, maybe. But if Ichigo still needs more power, he can use his now controlled Hollow Mask, which gives him a huge boost. So I'm going to say that Ichigo, using his Hollow Mask, beats Six-Tailed Cloak Naruto. Now, when it comes to End of War Naruto, Naruto has gotten much more powerful, he's learned and gained new techniques, and he's learned to control the Nine Tails chakra. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because not only has Naruto learned Sage Mode as the sixth path power, but he's also learned how to control the Nine Tails chakra. I'm probably going to say Bichu Mode Naruto can beat controlled Inner Olo Mask Ichigo, but I think full Inner Olo Ichigo can beat Bichu Mode Naruto, and I think it might actually give sixth path Naruto some trouble as well. But saying that, I don't think full Hollow Ichigo can beat Naruto's Kurama Avatar in his base form. So that's another win for Naruto. Now, when it comes to Ichigo training for 3 months in the Dongai, he is much more powerful. And yes, I know we don't see Shikai Ichigo after his training in the Dongai, but I just like to put it in there because Ichigo in his Bonkai after his training in the Dongai is much more powerful than Aizen when they came face to face in their final battle. And remember, this is an Aizen that surpasses most, if not all, characters at this point in the story of Bleach, and Ichigo is casually fighting him in his Bonkai form. Now, I'm definitely going to say that Dongai Bonkai Ichigo can beat Naruto in his Kurama Avatar base form. I'm 100% sure of that, but I don't think Ichigo in his Bonkai form at this point can beat Kurama Avatar Six Paths. However, if Ichigo loses, he could always use his final form, the final Getsuga Tensho, and I know for a fact that Naruto's Kurama Avatar Sixth Paths doesn't stand a ghost of a chance against Ichigo's final Getsuga Tensho. So yeah, that would be an automatic win for Ichigo. But I know for a fact that some of you are going to completely disagree with this and say that Kurama in his Sixth Path form is much more powerful and Ichigo doesn't stand a chance against that. However, let's just say for example that you guys are right, that final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo lost in his fight against Kurama Avatar Sixth Paths Naruto. But what about the 1000-year Blood War Ichigo? Now, this is true Zanpakuto form Ichigo, where he got his sword reforged and he had a little bit of training from somebody else. It is said by your watch that Ichigo in his Shikai form is on par with his final Getsuga Tensho form. This is in his Shikai form and he hasn't even gone Bonkai yet. So let's just say for example that after when Ichigo regained his powers from the post time skip all the way to his final showdown against your watch, Ichigo has gotten much more stronger ever since he got his powers back. But now, again, as said by your watch, Ichigo has regained the power that he used against Aizen in his Shikai form. So Ichigo is a little bit stronger and he has the power of the final Getsuga Tensho in his Shikai form. And so when Ichigo goes Bonkai, that is a 10 times multiplier on top of that. Ichigo in his Bonkai form can easily take down Naruto's Kurama Avatar Six Paths. However, I still say that final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo can easily beat base form Hokage Naruto. However, I do believe that Naruto in his complete Kurama cloak with the Six Paths and Sage Mode all in one can beat final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo. Because you know what, I'm being generous here. Some Bleach fans will say, oh no, final Getsuga Tensho can beat almost anybody. But just to be fair, I will give Hokage complete Kurama Six Paths Sage Mode Naruto the win. However, when we get to the 1000 Blood War forms of Ichigo, Ichigo has regained the power he used against Aizen in his Shikai form, which is his true Zanpakuto Shikai form. So yeah, Ichigo in his Shikai form, when he got reforged in the 1000-year Blood War, is on par with his final Getsuga Tensho form. And not just that, Ichigo has also had some training ever since he got his powers back. So even saying that, I still say that Hokage, Complete Kurama, 6 Paths, Sage Mode, Naruto, wins against Thousand Year Blood War, Shikai, Ichigo. Now, when Ichigo goes into his Bonkai, which gives him a 10 times multiplier on top of his Shikai form, which remember, in his Shikai form, he regained the power that he used against Aizen, and a little bit of training ever since he got his powers back. True Zanpakuto, Bonkai Ichigo slaps Hokage Complete Kurama, 6 Paths, Sage Mode, Naruto. Ichigo is faster, stronger, and more powerful than Naruto. And Ichigo can also beat Naruto's Kurama avatar. Remember, this is a Kurama that has been put back together with his other half. If you're a Naruto fan, you know what I'm talking about. But again, I'm going to give the victory to Ichigo. There is no way that Avatar Kurama can beat Bonkai Ichigo at this point. However, when it comes to Kurama Avatar 6 Paths, I think I'll give Naruto the win. Now, when it comes to Ichigo in his Shikai form, while he's in his fused hollow form, Ichigo at this point is much more powerful. This is Ichigo when he has the powers of a Hollow, a Quincy, and a Shinigami, or Soul Reaper. It's a fusion between these three. Basically, Ichigo gained the power of when he was fighting against Ukiura, but now he can control it. And this is in his Shikai form. And I do believe that this form, Ichigo's Shikai, with his fused hollow form, is much more stronger than when he was using his true Bonkai. I'm not sure how much, but I do believe that it's much more stronger than his Bonkai. So yeah, Shikai Ichigo, with his fused hollow form, is much more powerful than his regular true Bonkai. So I'm going to give the win to Ichigo. Ichigo in his Shikai form can beat Hokage level Naruto with the Kurama avatar and his 6 paths. Now, recently in the manga, Kurama, the Nine-Tailed Fox, said that he has a final form that Naruto can use, but going into this power will eventually kill Naruto. So basically, this new form that Kurama is talking about is a kamikaze, where after he uses it, he will die. Well, supposedly he will die. So I'm not really sure how powerful Naruto is going to be in this new form, but assuming that this thing's going to be a form that is so incredibly powerful to a point that it's going to kill Naruto, I'm going to give the victory to Naruto. However, Ichigo can use his Bonkai on top of his fused hollow form, which gives him a 10 times multiplier. Ichigo is so powerful at this point. He slaps every single version of Naruto at this point. However, I'm not really sure about Naruto's ultimate form because I don't know how powerful it is. The next chapter of Boruto hasn't come out yet. So far at this point, Naruto's kamikaze ultimate form is a complete mystery. But if this form is a kamikaze attack and it's a last resort, it would be kind of like when Ichigo used his Mugetsu, aka his final Getsuga Tensho form. Yeah, it's the Mugetsu. Anyways, in Death Battles Naruto vs Ichigo, Ichigo lost all his powers when he used the Mugetsu, aka the final Getsuga Tensho. So even if this is Naruto's ultimate form and he is guaranteed to die, so it technically would be a draw if Naruto has to use this ultimate form that would eventually kill him after its use. So again, even if this is Naruto's ultimate form and he did somehow beat Ichigo at this point, Naruto would die anyways. So it could be either one of two things. One, it could be a draw because Naruto used a kamikaze attack, or the form isn't strong enough to beat Ichigo and Ichigo just has to wait it out, or just kill Naruto. So it could be either a draw or Ichigo would win. So yeah, it would definitely be Ichigo's win. And these are all Ichigo's forms he should have used against Naruto in Death Battles Naruto vs Ichigo. They obviously didn't know anything about Bleach. They completely screwed Ichigo over. They didn't know his feats, they didn't know his multipliers, they obviously don't know anything about power scaling. They completely screwed over Ichigo. That fight was obviously a popularity contest. I mean, here's the thing, if they can have 2 Goku vs Supermans and 2 Sonic vs Mario, then I demand them to bring back Naruto and Ichigo and use all of their forms from different parts of the series, just like what I showed you guys here. And just to let you guys know, yes, I did miss out a few of Ichigo's forms and some parts of the series where he has gotten stronger after a fight or after an arc, and the two that comes to mind is post-resurrection Ichigo and his Hollow Mask, both Bonkai of course. And to be fair, and this is embarrassing, but I have forgotten where these two forms go in the series. Okay, technically they're not forms, but somewhere in the series, Ichigo has gotten much stronger, somewhere in the series. Now, I'm just guessing, but I think, now you guys can correct me, but I think This was Ichigo when he bet Ukiura, or was it Yami? Again, I cannot remember. Actually, to my fellow Bleach fans, where does post-resurrection Ichigo go in the series? And where would you put him in a fight with Naruto? That's what I would like to ask from you. Now, let's move on to Hell vs. Ichigo. Now, the reason why he's not on this list is because there's little to no information on this transformation, and that's the reason why it's being left out. Now, when it comes to full bring Ichigo, there's complete full bring Ichigo, Shikai full bring Zanpakuto Ichigo, and full bring Zanpakuto Bankai Ichigo. Now, the reason why I didn't bring these three in is because, if I remember correctly, which is probably not going to be right, I think full bring Ichigo is just its own thing, and Zanpakuto full bring Ichigo is, I think, is when Ichigo finally got his Soul Reaper powers back. I could be wrong. Again, it's been a very, very long time. And obviously there's full bring Bankai Ichigo. Now, complete full bring is completely separate from full bring Zanpakuto Ichigo. At least I think so. I should have done more research. But if there was to go up against Naruto, it would most likely be against Naruto after the Pain arc, and he goes against the 3 Tails, 4 Tails, Sage Mode, and the 6 Tails Cloak Naruto. But again, complete full bring Ichigo is completely different and separate from full bring Zanpakuto Ichigo. At the very least, I think so anyways. And I call myself a Bleach fan. But like I said, it's been a very, very long time. So I thought, you know what, why not? Let's have all versions of Ichigo face off against all versions of Naruto. Now, some of these forms of Ichigo, like the post-resurrection, I have absolutely no idea how powerful he is there. And there is little to no information about how powerful L vs Ichigo is in his new form. I know I did a sloppy job of this, but for me, I believe that Ichigo deserves justice. I believe Ichigo and Naruto deserves another rematch. With better animation, better information about the characters and their forms, this fight deserves a rematch with more care and love, and not just about popularity, because that's all I want in the end. I want more respect that goes to these characters, more care on their analyses, feats, power, speed, you know, all that stuff. So I say, let's have all versions and power-ups of Ichigo versus all versions and power-ups of Naruto, from weakest all the way to the strongest. Because again, this fight deserved more respect than what it did in Death Battles Naruto vs Ichigo. Now, I do respect Naruto, I really do, but what they did to Ichigo in that fight was unforgivable. I mean, come on, they thought that the final Getsuga Tensho was his ultimate form, which wasn't the case. They didn't put any care into this fight, so I demand a rematch, using all versions and all power-ups that both of these characters have. I mean, just have a look at this. On the Verse Battle Wikipedia page, it says that Naruto's power and stats tire says that Naruto is a 5C, and Naruto is Moon Plus. Now, look at Ichigo. At his full peak of power, Ichigo's power is 5A, and Ichigo can one-shot a large planet, and even more with his merged hollow form. So clearly, Ichigo should have been the winner. Ichigo is faster, stronger, and has more destruction capabilities. And even though I'm a Bleach fan, I'm not angry that Naruto won. I'm angry that Screw Attack poorly represented Ichigo. I don't mind if Ichigo loses to Naruto, that's not the problem. It's the fact that Ichigo was poorly represented. They got his stats wrong, all of his forms was out of order, and they thought that his final Getsuga Tensho form was his ultimate form, which it wasn't. They clearly didn't know what the hell they were doing. Now, to all the Naruto fans, if Naruto and Ichigo was put into a fight, and both characters were using the right statistics, and Naruto won, then that wouldn't be a problem. But Death Battle clearly didn't know what the hell they were doing with Ichigo. It's the same with Goku vs Superman. There are loads of versions of Superman, and there's a few versions of Goku. There are some versions of Superman that Goku can never ever beat, and there are versions of Superman that Goku can beat. And you know what? I've accepted that. I always try to be fair in a fight. But in Death Battles Naruto vs Ichigo, they did Ichigo dirty. I'm not butthurt that Ichigo lost, I'm butthurt because how inaccurate Death Battle is. So I demand a rematch, and done right this time. All versions of Ichigo versus all versions of Naruto, and I want it fair and square. So what do you guys think? Would you like to see a round 2 of Naruto vs Ichigo? Would you guys like to see all versions of Naruto versus all versions of Ichigo? Who do you guys think would win in a fight between Naruto versus Ichigo? Please let me know in the comment sections below. I'm Geek Freak, peace out. Thank you guys for watching. And if there's a series you want me to check out and review and give my thoughts on it, or if there's a top 10 list you want me to do, or any reactions, or responses, or rants on anything geeky, just leave links and comments in the comment sections below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. If you guys want to go and check out my other social medias, I'm on Gab, Discord, BitChute, Dailymotion, Reddit, Subscribestar, Minds, Instagram, Twitch, DeviantArt, Pinterest, Parler, My Anime List, and Vidya. And don't forget to check out my Skeptic channel, Gypsy Freak. And my other social medias are down there in the description box below, so if you want to go and check them out, please do. And if you guys want to support this channel, I'm on PayPal, Patreon, and GoFundMe. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss another video. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.